everyone, welcome back to my channel, Hysteria Projects. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're having a wonderful day. These messages are general, so if they don't resonate, that's perfectly fine. There are a lot of other messages out there. Take what resonates and leave the rest behind, please. The underlying energy of this message is food, okay? And I'll be perfectly honest, I feel a little called out on this energy myself, but I am being, told to talk about this, and, this isn't just something that I personally deal with, okay? So this is about our relationship with food. And I am getting that, put your side of the spectrum, like put yourself wherever you go, okay? Because if you resonate with this message, you're either going to resonate on one end or the other, okay? So if this isn't resonating with you, this is your time to go ahead and click off. But this is going to be a message about eating habits related to depression, okay? So if that's not something that you deal with, this message isn't aimed towards you, okay? So with that being said, I said you're either going to resonate on one end or the other. And I personally resonate with what this message is about. So for me personally, I am somebody that tends to not eat when I go through depression. Hi, Kitty. Hi, mamas. Hi, kitty. Distractions. Okay. Sorry. So, when I am sad, when I'm depressed, I tend to not eat, okay? There are people out here that are the complete opposite, when they're sad and they're depressed, they tend to eat, okay? So you're either going to fall on one end of this or the other. But there's also this spectrum of this message in particular as well, okay? So initially with the energy coming through with this is that, your eating habits reflect your depression or your internal struggles here, okay? There also is a sense of it having the opposite effect as well, okay? So say for instance, you don't eat enough. You're not supplying your body with enough nourishment. That can lead you into a depression, okay? You're overeating. You're oversupplying your body. That could lead you into depression as well, So it's giving this kind of interchangeable energy here where it's both. It's really both, okay? They go hand in hand. So this is very, very significant with this message here, because this is something that you are currently working on or acknowledging, or something here, okay, is improving this. But that's where we're gonna, get into that a little further. Okay. So you were dealing with somebody. This does not have to be romantic, but it does feel romantic. You were dealing with somebody here that I'm going to say was an energy vampire. This is somebody that really kind of this is somebody that drained you. This is somebody that held you back. This is something that you have left behind. And this has a lot to do with this depression energy. This has a lot to do here with, I'm going to say, your health being unbalanced. And that's what you're being guided towards right now, is a rebalancing of this health. Yeah, because whatever the situation was, this deeply affected you. And this affected you in ways that were, when I say deep, these were subconscious, I'm going to say. Okay? Yeah. So for I'm going to say a majority of you, this had to do with a relationship. Now again, it doesn't have to be, take it how it resonates, but I do feel the strong romantic energy here. And this was something that you were investing into, feeding into. This had your attention, okay? And it, I'm gonna say it was kind of like it was anchoring you into a dark place here, and you have broken free of that. You have, I'm gonna say, stopped feeding into this situation here. It very much is giving a strong ending, okay? And you're being asked now to two things. For one, be a little flexible with yourself here, okay? Take that however it resonates with you, okay? For some of you, I feel like that's kind of symbolic. For others of you, I feel like that's very direct, like, maybe start exercising or stretching, okay? But you're being asked to have a little more flexibility and discipline. There's this sense of structure and discipline here that in a nutshell is giving the energy of effort. It's like you're not putting energy or effort into whatever this is that you have walked away from, that has ended, whatever this situation is for you, okay? This was something that impacted your health, all right? Whether you started eating your emotions or starving them, okay? Take it however it resonates. You're being asked to shift your focus a little bit more to being more healthy, okay? It again, I am getting this hand in hand energy, okay? So, for some of you that struggle with eating, like myself, okay, by making yourself eat, that could help with the depression part, which in turn helps with you eating. It's like a cycle, okay? They go hand in hand. Same with the other side of that spectrum. If you're eating too much, okay? By not having that as a go-to, maybe that's where the stretching or exercise parts, that flexibility part of this comes into play. Instead of, going to a snack and, you making yourself not eat and substituting that with something instead, whether that be stretching or just doing something different, okay? I feel like both of these go very much hand in hand regardless of where you fit on that, okay? There is this sense of harmony and balance that by putting some focus on that, by paying attention to it, and I'm going to say, working on your physical health, that's going to have a direct effect on your mental health and that mental peace and that balance, okay? So let's pull a little bit of tarot, see, if anything wants to come out. What else does Spirit want to say here? This Three of Wands, this is, I feel like this is that future energy here, it's you making the decision to prioritize your health and following through with it. feel like this Page of Cups energy is this nurturing yourself energy. You know, feeding yourself with good things. You know, and this doesn't have to be like excessive eating. You know, this could be eating just bad food, junk food, you know. It could be along those lines, you know, and this doesn't have to be, you know, just not eating at all. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of variance here that could apply for your situation. But I feel like the main point of this being is because this cycle, whatever this was for you specifically, because this cycle has ended, you now have the ability to regain and restore that balance. You know, this is giving depression. This feels like so much depression. It feels like just energy draining. 10 of Wands, heavy burdens, 10 of Swords. You know, you decided to pour into yourself. You decided to give yourself love. You know, and by you doing that, you are restoring the balance within your life. You know, by you shifting your focus here. Again, you're not feeding into whatever this is. It's giving off like you're standing on business here. You know, and this Four of Swords, this is recovery. And look, we have a chef at the bottom here. You know, this is not a coincidence. You know, this is you recovering your physical health. You know, this put you through a lot. And it took a big toll on you, not just emotionally, not just mentally, not just spiritually, but physically. And, you know, be a little flexible with yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself, but at the same time, try to provide yourself some more discipline, some sort of structure here, okay? Because this is a recovery process. It really is. Because you're having to do a lot of healing throughout this. And one of the things that you're healing is your relationship with food. You know, the chef on the bottom here, it's giving off that energy of happiness feels like a vague way to say it, but the picture that I'm seeing in my head really is this overcoming, you know, of all of this. You really making the decision and following through with making healthier choices, okay? And it's giving off this flourishment energy, this fulfilled energy. And we have the Queen of Cups here. You know, again, this is you. I feel like this is all about you. I feel like this is just you really pouring into yourself here. And to continue to do that, you know, you have focused on so many very important aspects of your life, and the next thing to try and focus on here is that balance with your physical health. Anything else, Spirit? No? Okay. Let's pull a final message. Final message, please. Ooh. All right, 2 it is. Come here, cord. All right, we have invitation, calm, love, beauty, kindness. You know, it says the words you speak are an invitation to life, a request to bring energy into form. Choose your words carefully. And then mind. You are the master of your inner world, and you decide how the outer world affects you. cultivate a calm inner state. I feel like this is all about you being kind to yourself and you healing yourself and you pouring and nurturing yourself. Okay, so I feel like, you know, your spirit team over here is rooting for you. You know, you are on the right track here. I feel like they're trying to give you a push to maybe structureize something here, maybe form a daily habit or integrate something here that will keep you on track and keep you on this path of, you know, healing those parts of yourself here. You know, food is important. Our emotional well-being is important. Our mental well-being is important. And they do go hand in hand. They do. You know, if we don't feed ourselves or if we overfeed ourselves with a bunch of junk, you know, we are going to put ourselves in a negative state of health. All right? And again, these things go hand in hand. All right? So you have to kind of look at both of those things and have that balance between both. All right, so I hope this message helped, and until next time.